strengthen the connection between Dominicans residing in the lovely Nature Isle and Dominicans residing abroad. National broadcaster DBS continues its quest to highlight and celebrate the achievements of Dominicans. We will discuss the highs and lows, the challenges and successes. Give us 90 minutes and we will solidify the connections we share with Dominicans all over. Anu celebrate achievement Dominice tout latte. Connecting the dots. Tune in this Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Come join us as we weave a tapestry and strengthen our connections. Asu Radio DBS.
Stories have been told.
But let me remind you why we do this program every Saturday. After years of the successful Diaspora Link with Alex Powell Bruno and Emil Pavinsira, Nigel and I came on board with a similar idea. I had a strange name for the program, but Nigel, being the smarter one, decided that connecting the dots would define the mission, the agenda really. So we decided that would, would strengthen the ties that bind us as Dominicans and at the same time have fun. Nigel, come a while. Am I on the right track? Good morning, Nigel.
Good morning to you, my dear. You're definitely on the right track. You're on the right track. Two smart people came together and figured let's get this happening. You're on the right track.
Thank you, Nigel. You're taking a ball. I'm taking a ball. What are you doing, Nigel?
How are you doing, my dear?
I'm there. I'm fine. I'm tired, but I'm okay.
I know the feeling. I know the vibes. It's been that kind of week for me as well. I was like, man, when is Saturday coming? So it's been that kind of a week, but we're here, and every time we get here Saturday morning, we get
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All the negative energies cast aside.
Negative energy cast aside.
Then
we have a vision, and we keep pushing.
Yes, man, Nigel. I tell you, these are the days, Nigel. But
But
we'll see what happens. Next week around that time, you should be what? You should be in the Juve or what? You should be jumping up?
Well, I should be in the Juve. I think I have two people that's going to tell me if I'll be in the Juve or not. They haven't given me no instructions. They haven't told me what part I should be. They haven't told me where I should meet them. They haven't told me where the truck going to be. So I don't know. And then, of course, I have Lalos to go to for Acer and Triple K and all the rest. So they're going to tell me what I have to do. I don't know. But I'll be there.
Knowing you like a passport to you involved in so many things, everything, Nigel. But how do you get the time to breathe and to relax and to meditate and to say, okay?
Yes.
How do you find that time?
Well, I try to find a little balance in between, so it's difficult, but then sometimes you have to tune up some things and say, you know what, now it's time for this. Yes. Yeah. So next Saturday I'm going to say, hey, now it's time for Carnival. And for Miami Carnival, enjoy it. Well, you're not hearing, you say? Somebody tell me they're not hearing.
Someone not hearing?
Okay. All right. Marlon,
you hear me? Nigel? Are you telling me that someone is
Marlon, you hearing me? Good morning. Marlon, you hearing me? Marlon, you hearing me? Okay, I don't know if you're not hearing me. I don't know. I'll tell him just talk. I don't know why you're not hearing me, though.
I heard someone saying good morning. I heard a
You heard a good morning? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
from you. Yeah. But Nigeria
Okay,
have
so
a full house, eh?
a full house for a few. Yes, yes, a full house for a few. You know, we're trying and connect everybody. We're trying and tie the binds. We're trying and do the bonds and everything else. So we got a full house, and of course, you know what it is like in the Commonwealth. Never a dull moment. You know, there's never a dull moment. So
which means we won't be talking much because we have a full house.
Yes, we have a full house. We have a full house.
Okay, but let me just say quickly. Obviously, today is it's I think National Day of Prayer today and
is it today and tomorrow? Okay,
and tomorrow
as well. Also,
because
the opening of independence or something.
Boy, Nigel, so many things are happening.
Yes, the opening of independence today. Okay,
I think there's action in Maho. In fact, for the opening, the official opening of Aditeza grounds in Maho. There's a lot more happening. There's a roadshow, World Prayer Music Festival roadshow. You know, there are other cultural activities going on. So the Commonwealth is really bubbling with activities.
Yes.
A lot is happening.
And of course, our favorite company will ensure that everything goes well. So, yes.
Okay. Look, somebody asking me on WhatsApp, what is Passepartout? I told Nigel, you like a Passepartout? Did I say that? What is Passepartout, Nigel? What is that? Really?
Well, you already know you and I coming up with words. And then we're trying to figure out, but where that word came from.
Yes,
it's
a passport as a Creole word, you know.
It is a Creole word, and I'm trying to figure out the actual.
I don't know, Nigel, but sometimes I really wonder, you know, how this vernacular language came about. Because when you Passepartout and Thump and Coolpoe, and maybe another time we're going to this again.
Well, Coolpoe for sure. We know the Coolpoe. Or Thump.
So they're the same? They are the same, really?
Well, a Thump and a Coolpoe, I think, is the same thing, you know, right, Marlon? Yes, a Thump and a Coolpoe must be the same thing.
Okay.
Marlon, you want to help me? Is a Thump and a Coolpoe the same thing? Or you probably don't know too, you know. You on mute. You on mute.
Good morning. Okay.
Morgan.
Hey, so we said?
We set now.
But Nigeria are pretty people on there, man.
Oh Jesus! Yes, you and I can take a back seat now.
Oh yeah, boy, me.
Them people overshadowing us. We leave it now, Papa. We leave it now.
Yeah, but so Nigel, I guess as I said, we can't talk a lot this morning.
Yes, we run through the guests.
Yeah, we have a full house. A lot is happening. As I said, I think the Dominica, the Houston Afro-Caribbean Music Festival, I think it's on.
Yes,
there are other activities as well. The Dominica Houston Association will be having its grand Independence Gala, I think on the 14th of October. There are other organizations across, you know, well, outside of Dominica, you know, headed by Dominicans that are, you know, partaking in independence activities, you know, every year. So we wish them the best, Nigel.
We sure do. We wish all of them the best. I know that the Tampa as well, Dominica Tampa Association is having their independence activity coming up pretty soon as well. So all over the globe, I know Dominicans are celebrating independence in their own way, or getting ready to celebrate independence next month. All the different festivals, we'll try to see how best we can touch base with them. I know the Dominica Seafocal Alumni Association is having the
yes. Again. By the way, Paul, I will reply after my apologies, Paul.
Yes,
so we'll talk.
Yes. We'll connect with Paul, Philip, and the rest for that activity that's happening at was the place name again? Kaimamama or something like that.
Right next to me, right in my backyard.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, you know. So you have
right in my backyard.
You have no excuse to represent both of us if I'm not there. So that's happening.
So it's right there. So when I go or not, Nigel, I will enjoy, because as I say, it's in my backyard.
Still here.
So the music and all of that, you know.
Yes. So that's perfect. That's perfect. You know. So lots of stuff happening.
Yeah. By the way, the theme for independence, I don't think we mentioned the theme on the program. I said it's Annu Celebrate. Very simple yet
very simple and nice. I like it. Annu Celebrate. Yes, there's so much to celebrate about. Annu Celebrate. Yes, I love it. I love it. So you know, we'll have lots of celebrations. So to all the Dominica associations throughout the entire globe that's getting ready to celebrate Dominica's independence in their own way. I know there's an activity that someone here is also trying to put together as well. for the independence celebrations, something on November 4th. So we'll be talking about all that and connecting everybody the best that we can.
By the way, somebody's telling me, let me just say this quickly. Somebody sent me on WhatsApp, passport to is when you're everywhere. And because you I'm from Granby, so I know.
Oh, yes, when you can't stay in one place. Okay. All right. Yes, you have your already said you have this is something about your food, you know. You have hot food or something like that.
Yeah, special hot food, especially when you're driving
you can't stay one place. Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, that is me, but I shall try to put my foot and stay.
But Nigel, since I know you, Nigel, no man, Nigel. It's time
I have to put my foot somewhere now and say this is it.
Yes, well, you still have the strength. You still have the vigor.
And I have to keep going.
Some people, when they work and they work a lot, well, there's a saying that the reward for hard work is more hard work. But when you work and you work a lot and you just decide, okay, just quickly, just to rest, you know what happens.
We don't want that, you know. We don't want that. I will say that. Let me say condolences as well to I
heard your name on the announcement.
Say that again.
I heard Nigel Francis in Florida.
Yes. My adopted sister passed away, and yes, in Canada. So Lucy, and let me say, good morning, and Nicole, hold strong, and Sefton, and of course the brothers and other brothers and sisters. Liz, good morning. We all holding strong and doing what we can to survive through it all.
The adopted sister.
Yes. And then also, I have
an adopted father who passed away as well. I'm keeping ready, so let me extend condolences to the family.
Yes, passed away, and the funeral was yesterday. So we're there holding strong. And then, of course, let me also say condolences to Gerald and to Tara and to Mikey and Japs and all the rest on the passing of Ma Carol, their mom. So, accept our condolences and hold strong as well. And Tara and everybody else from the rest of the family.
But we're not talking about them.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's something about, I think there's a word, when you have a fear of death like me. I think it's something like thanatophobia. I can't recall. But anyway, let's go on to our topic. Let's bring in our people.
Yes, let's bring in let's bring in those that we have to talk to for a little bit. I hope they're still there with me. Marlon, you there with me? You there with us? You there?
As you say, Marlon, man. What?
All right.
Marlon is like a passport too.
Marlon is a passport.
As you say, Marlon.
Marlon in breakfast fit, and next minute he's somewhere else, and then he's doing the shipping thing, and then he's somewhere else. So you're all over the place, So good morning to you, Elka. How you doing, my dear?
Good morning. I'm good.
All right. How is Elka's kitchen rolling this morning? Everything ready to roll?
No, well, I had to leave it a bit, so you might, catch me a little late today.
That's
Nigel,
okay.
Nigel, let me just come in here. Because, some people just maintain their beauty, like they have their baby face and they grow up with this. This is Elka.
Like me? I thought you were going to say me. I thought you were going to say me.
No, Nigel. I see Elka and I checking, boy. Nigel, best we just leave the screen for Elka. What?
Yeah, Elka continues to have a little baby face and not going nowhere. Yes. So Elka's kitchen rolling today, of course, coming through. 8431, what's the rest of the address?
8321 Northwest 52nd Street. It's Lauderdale, Florida. But I would like everybody to know that I have changed my address, because I know by this weekend some people are going to go to my old house.
All right, so it's not the old house again, okay, guys? It's not the old house. Change address, go to the new house. And of course, with Elka's Kitchen comes with Carnival. They come together, and Miami Carnival is ready to rock and roll. What's happening for the costume band, Elka? What's happening for Juve? I haven't got my t-shirt yet, so I don't know what's happening, but what's going on?
You will get your t-shirt. We had a little mishap last year, so the costume band didn't come through this year, but the Juve is definitely on, and we have our own truck on the road. Thanks to people like Marlon, the Lalo's restaurant, Moksha, Asa Banton. I mean, we couldn't do this without some people at all. It's this year was a challenge, but we're making it happen.
But we're pulling it through. It through. And Marlon, in terms of Asa Banton, what's happening with Asa for Miami Carnival?
Well, we have a jam on Friday night. We all lime our regular thing. Asa, Shelley, Nai, Major Mystic, Lester, Optimistic Crew from Atlanta, and Showtime from Antigua. We just have a whole vibe going on. We all like,
Wow.
we trying to get the AM PM because you have a track, but you don't
Hey, well, look it.
But look it, I tell you, it's never a dull moment. From AM to PM, we're working.
we try to get him on, but you don't answer his calls.
You don't say in the score. After the program, I gotta give him a call for you, okay?
But let me ask you though, Marlon, I know you have been very much involved in organizing activities like that, being at the forefront. How do you feel about this and the fact that we have so much talent in Dominica that you can always pull over? But how do you feel about it generally, just organizing something Dominican?
It's a good vibes. We get in there. It take a lot of work, but we are starting to take over the world now. So we just have to support, and Dominicans have to learn to just support because it's Dominica. That's our problem. We just have to start supporting. Even we don't like the music too much. We don't like certain artists. We have to do like the rest of the countries and just show up because the numbers doesn't make the difference. The big difference is in the number of us that does come out. Anytime we hear Dominica, most likely one person at a time doing it. So we shouldn't really have a problem to get a crowd because I do my jam Friday night. We coming straight from our jam to Elka Jam. So everybody that there plus more that couldn't make the jam should come to the Juve just on the basis of we going to enter environment the rest of the Caribbean and Dominicans should just come out to throw their flags in the middle of that and show we have 80,000 people in the park and 80,000 in Dominica.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
I
love the vibes. And this year at Lalo's, we're having one Dominica jam. It's going to be one Dominica jam. That's it. So you're coming from Miami Carnival, you have no choice. It's right. One Dominica jam at Lalo's on the Friday evening. For those who want to get tickets and for those who want to be part of the activity, how can they do that?
Well, we have tickets online. Booyah Lime 2023 on Eventbrite. Then we have Elka's Kitchen have tickets. Bev's Production, which is Beverly in Miami, have tickets. And Fancy Love Bakery, which is normally like a Caribbean environment, they have tickets too. That's all locations. And with that, we should be all right.
Nice. And Elka for the Juve now, because I want to come up for the Juve. So for
Nigel, I would have been,
But of course.
Boy, Nigel.
You should. You still have time. They have 2 direct flights coming up before Juve.
I have 2 graduations this week, or 2 ceremonies. My daughter is graduating from college.
Okay. So yes.
Ceremonies this week, so it's tight.
It is.
So tell us a little bit about the Juve, Elka. What's happening, how we can get the t-shirts, what's happening for the Juve, the one big truck with Asa on that day.
Yes, we have a big truck on the road. And just really gets me high for Carnival, because I just love Carnival, is just to see my flags together. I just love it, because too many times, all over the place, the Dominica flags, scattered. They all over the place.
Yeah.
And I like to bring them together. So that's what
represents your country.
Yes, represents. And so for those who want to join the Juve, Elka, what can they do? How can they get there?
myfedtickets.com, you can still get the packages there. Eventbrite.com, you can still get the packages there. They can contact me directly. They can contact me on Facebook, Instagram. Directly, they can come to my house. They can go to the Riverland Mass Instagram, the Riverland Mass Facebook. There's multiple ways to find me.
Beautiful. So listen, and I know we have a lot of folks who are always viewing, listening, connecting with us. I know our other guest that's coming on, Ermine, she can be here for Carnival, Miami Carnival. I know she's going for Independence, but she can be here for Miami Carnival. But of course, those in Barbados where she's at and all the rest of the people, there's still time to link up and connect. Marlon, Asa, Nai, Major Mystic, that's a big combination.
Yeah,
You sure Lalo's a space for that?
Well, we come from a smaller venue and they say get a bigger one. For now, that's the biggest we could get. So the more people that come out, the bigger we can get a venue. So next year, maybe we'll have to get a pack of something. So We're moving up in the game.
Let me ask both of you and Elka very quickly as we kind of wind up. Let me ask both of you very quickly, and I'm sure everyone might want to ask that too in terms of, do you guys feel like there have been some discussion that we probably have to have other artists, non-Dominican artists on a show for Dominica thing to work? So, that you have to bring in somebody from Trinidad or bring in somebody from Antigua, that kind of thing. They feel we can't stand on our own. What do you guys feel about that?
Good question.
I feel we can stand on our own, but without, the more support we can get to bring into our culture is better. As long as we run in the thing with majority, let's say 75-25, arts to artist wise, we help in progress our music. But to say like we need it, if we turn out in numbers, we don't really need it. But the more we can get, obviously the better. And for the culture to spread, it's always good to infuse other people because it's going further. I would like to do a jam, a booyah jam, and see 10,000 white people saying crazy. It wouldn't hurt me at all.
Wow. And I like what Marlon is saying because, and I'm hoping that the DFC and the Ministry of Tourism and the other stakeholders are seeing this for what it is, because this is like a precursor, not just to the World Crowd Music Festival, but to our independence. So Dominica, I mean, that's promotion for our country, and this really augurs well for what we have, even on land right here in Dominica, like the World Crowd Music Festival. So when you have like 10,000 people at a jam in Florida or wherever, you know what that does for Dominica? Even if the majority are Dominicans, and sometimes it's not even the majority that are Dominicans. So we really have to congratulate the efforts, people like Elka and Marlon and the others who organize activities. But Nigel, I mean, they are not the official guests. I'm not, they are on. But just tell us, Elka, just like bring back some memories for us quickly. Tell us who Elka is. I mean, it's not the first name. A lot of people, of course, know you, but just tell us who Elka is, where you're from, really, in DA, and then Marlon will do the same.
I'm a Kuzla, I think, and I actually grew up in Newtown. So I'm a Harlem girl. I worked for Liat for a long time, and then I left and I came up here. So I have been here for about 25 years. I come back almost every year for Carnival because that's my favorite time of the year. I don't think I've ever been back for Creole Festival since I left. But I go back almost every year for Carnival because that's my time. Yeah.
Yeah, but, you like the party, you like the action.
Yeah, Carnival is my time.
Yeah, boy, so see out on the roadway.
We've been doing the Carnival here. We've been doing the Carnival here. This is our 20th year doing it. I remember when we started with about 80 people with a little, just a little truck, and to come to what we have now, it's amazing. We still, I think we might be the only Dominican band still in the United States right now.
Wow.
They don't have another one, so we're extremely proud of that. We would like to see it go further. And then Nigel, with your question about introducing the artists, I do believe that we cannot keep the booyah for like ourselves. So that's why, just to get them out there too, to like spread the word, we need to really incorporate other artists so they can bring other people, so they can hear the booyah, because our music is like a tourism product, and we need to learn to sell it. So I do believe that. Yes, not that we cannot hold our own, but to get the music out there, because if we take the artists from Dominica and we just bring them up just to play for Dominicans, basically they never left Dominica. That is how I feel about it.
Yeah, we have to spread it. We have to spread it. We have to.
That's a product.
Yes, we have
that's
to
a priceless. That's a priceless. That's a priceless product that we have.
Yep. And let me just remind the folks back home in Dominica. Hey, Discover Dominica. Remember, we need the banner still. It's not too late. All right, Discover Dominica. We need that banner to put on the truck. So I know you guys are listening. I know you'll call me after we're connecting again. Please get us the banner. It doesn't cost much. We need that banner for the truck. And any other company in Dominica, if you want to advertise the Miami Carnival, because you know what, it's not just Dominicans that's going to be there. It's an excellent time for the Ministry of Tourism to advertise the World Caribbean Music Festival and for Carnival. So send us the material. Send it up. Don't make me call all you again, Send it up.
Nigel, I feel we'll have to do a Connect to the Dots banner as well for another time. But
yes. Definitely so.
Yes.
But let's hear from I'm not sure if Elka, you were saying something, because we have to hear from Marlon, who he is really. But Elka, I think you were saying something.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Nigel said it.
Okay. So yes, Marlon, just remind us again who you are.
Right. Well, I'm Marlon Darroux. I could say from Grande and Rosewood evenly. Then more like both places. I grew up in down the street from Nigel, kind of, and I spend most of my other part of my life in Grande. Both sides of my family is musical family, and I do shipping. Man, I have a whole show for that.
That's a whole Connect to the Dots show.
Explanation. So that's like I say, Marlon Darroux, Grande Roseau area, and I do shipping, promotions, and I have plenty of musician friends.
All right. So of course, hey, listen, if you want to get anything shipped to Dominica anyways, contact Marlon, and I'm telling you straight up. Perfect delivery, come to your house, get what you have to get, but be on time. One thing, if you be on time, otherwise you're in trouble. He might leave you alone. but quickly though, guys, as we kind of wrap up for that session, because I know it was a kind of impromptu. I just got you guys on so we could spread the love and spread the word and what's going on. So Elka, today we want everybody to come by Elka's Kitchen first of all, get their sauce, get their black pudding, get their bakes, and get their can they get their Juve packages there one time? Can they sign up for their t-shirts and everything there one time?
Yes, they can pay for it, and then they can collect it back from Wednesday.
Okay, so the t-shirts are also available from Wednesday, but you can do all your bookings and all your setup today when you get to Elka's Kitchen and get it going for Juve. What time is Juve for those who taking the direct flights? Juve is next Saturday.
7 to 3, and then we also have the tickets for another party, Plunge, which they also sponsor us, and we have the Optimistic there, and then we have tickets here for the Bouillon Lime too, so they can get that in. Yeah,
right. And Marlon Bouillon Limes is Friday at Lalo's. Everything ready to roll, everything confirmed, everything moving good for that?
Yeah, everything ready to go, good to go. Elka Place is a one-stop shop for everything as well. Yeah, so.
Nice.
You go by Elka, you get food, you get t-shirts, you get everything.
I'm hungry.
Elka is the one-stop shop for the carnival from Thursday to Sunday. So
that's it. That's it. So anybody that coming through from Thursday to Sunday, and then there's also some special rates on hotels. You can check Riverland Mass for that too. So anything from Thursday to Sunday is one-stop shop by Elka. You get everything there. And Bouillon Lime Friday, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But
well, Dominica
no starting time. Just come.
Dominica time, you know that go. You can put 9 o'clock all you want. You know that.
I know. I have time.
9 o'clock. That's all I can say. We know how that go.
But last thing for you, Marlon, very quickly, last thing as we get ready to bring in Ermine, our other guests, very quickly, last thing. You have Asa, you have Nai, you have all those guys together. What do you feel like when you have those artists performing together, Dominican talent on one stage?
Man, that's special, and those guys put in a lot of work to make these things happen, and it's nice to see people come and reward them, because sometimes when you do it separately, some people don't come to one artist like they come to the next. So it's good that everybody basically gonna get the response like Asa would get, I know Asa my boy, but it's like when he bring the crowd, all those guys get the little roses they deserve, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But Marlon, do you get a chance to enjoy yourself though on these days? You're so much involved. Do you get a chance to take a bump at this?
To do. I have work to do, so it doesn't matter. I don't get a chance to talk.
Yeah. We can't let you go very quickly, man. We can't let
gonna give me work to do, but I just squeeze in a little community and
squeezing a little thing. Breakfast fed quickly before you leave. Last thing for you, breakfast fed. How was that? That was a big that turned out big as always. Getting ready for next year again.
We're ready for next year again. That's our thing. That's our main event for the year. So
and it's not leaving Grand Bay, it's staying in Grand Bay.
Yeah, you try anyway.
Wow.
We have to, that is Granby economy. It's not a matter of show, people watch it like
Yeah.
that. It's a show. But if you think of Granby, one time for the year, Granby people get to rent out hotels, whatever, guest rooms. Everybody by the road get to sell some food. It's not just for us, it's not a jam. It's an economic movement. So it's a very difficult, I know people have all the greatest ideas, but it's a very difficult thing.
To take it out.
That one pulse out of Granby once a year. It's not impossible. Anything can happen, but that's not in the back of our minds because that is our one main event. That's like Creole Festival in Tongue to Granby.
Agreed.
It's hard to people move Creole Festival, so it's like that's not in our mind. But anything is possible. I can't say never, but I wouldn't like it to.
Agreed. All right, so Elka Marlon, thank you for linking up. Thank you for connecting. My Mechanical is on next weekend from Thursday to Sunday. One-stop shop by Elka's Kitchen, Fancy Love Bakery. Check out Marlon for the tickets as well. Link up for your costume band. T-shirts, Eventbrite, Bev's production. It's one Dominican movement making it happen.
Yes.
And I love that.
I love this. I really love this. So let me wish you all success and we'll get the reviews. We'll get the reviews and enjoy yourselves as well. I mean, it's all the the hustle and the hard work. Enjoy yourselves as well. Get some time to enjoy yourself.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, link up later.
All right, thank you.
So that's the first party, but we are guests today.
Part one.
Yes, we're coming to part two. Ermine, good morning to you. Oh, yes, she is.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, and good morning. Thank you for being our guest, one of our guests on Connect to the Dots this morning. We have lots to talk to you about. We're not going to pass up like we do the first guest. We have to find out a lot more about you. And what you're doing. It's a different vibes, right? Yes. Yeah. You remember Ermine, Ivona?
But yes, I think she worked at the bank, but
yes, she did.
But I did some research, to make sure I remember.
Sometime, yes.
So I did some research at this Dominican Beauty, and she has a passion for helping people. So Nigel, I check her bio; it's very colorful, and if you look in depth at that bio, you will understand that she loves this. She was born to serve. Sort of a people's person, and she has this penchant for serving. And we'll hear that. We'll hear that and more.
We sure will. So again, welcome, Ermine. We appreciate you for being part of Connecting the Dots. If it's your first time on the program, then make sure this is going to be your regular Saturday ritual from 9:30. We'll see. But from 9:30 to 11, your regular interval where we connect Dominicans all over the globe. And that's what we try to do. We try to keep the connection going,
But Nigel, quickly, we did not check the book.
We haven't checked the book yet.
What is happening?
Before we go to Ermine, let's see what's happening on the book.
Let's see.
Let's see. Well, Alvin Thomas, good morning to you. Your excuse. He sent in his excuse, by the way, so no detention for him, right? He has to go to a football game for his grandson. So we'll allow him to do that.
We understand.
Yes, Albino, good morning to you. Let's see. Snapper Laura, as always, good morning, saying good morning to Ivona, Nigel. And then we have Winnie Green saying bonjour, condolences. Edwina London, of course, good morning to you as well. Heather George, good morning. Let's see what else the book is saying. We have Josephine John. We have plenty of people. Josephine John Lewis, good morning to you. Shils Jules, Vern Moyes, Jacinta is always on. So good morning to you. Terrian on me. Good morning, Terrian, my dear. How are you doing? It's good to have you as always.
Let me say good morning as well to Rosalind Separates. It's been a while. I haven't said hi.
Yes, it's been a while, right? And then Renick Thomas wants to say good morning. Of course, we had Renick on last
great
week.
Program last week.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Renick, for the condolences and Auntie Lucy. And he says, by the way, Ivona, SMA won the first soccer game versus DGS in the year 2023 competition. I don't know why you have to tell you that, but
in the year
SMA won the SMA won its first football game yesterday. He just wanted to let you know.
Okay,
so I let
that's what the info. The best is always saved for last. So it's all right. It's okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see the outcome.
Of course, Winnie Green, good morning. And somebody want to echo that, yes, tell Discover Dominica to send up the banner and all the advertising material.
This is
So
crucial.
send it up, guys. Carnival is next weekend. Send it up. You shouldn't be begging and asking for it. Send it up. All right. So yes, a lot happening this morning on the Facebook page. So good morning to all those, and good morning to others who are logged on. Otherwise, I know Houston. You said there's something happening in Houston. Of course, the
Houston Afro-Caribbean Music Festival.
Houston Africa.
Spearheaded by Glenn Bannis and his crew.
Glenn Bannis and his crew. So good morning to you. Hope things going well. Derek Liverpool, good morning. I know you guys are up there. Impulse Band is going to be up there as well for that festival. So good morning to you. Yes, Ermine, we're going to start and talk about Ermine Darroux and what's going on and additions to the names and everything else. But first of all, what part of Dominica are you from? Tell us a little about that.
Good morning, Nigel. Good morning, Ivonia. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of Connecting the Dots. It's really nice to connect with the Dominican community. And a special good morning to your listeners, the VS Radio and via social media as well. So, as you said, I am Ermine Darroux and now Ermine Darroux Francis. And let's just to be clear, not related to Nigel Francis.
No, thank you. We are my girls. Thank you.
You said the wrong thing.
I check it by another relation. We boy. What?
So I was born in the village of Rivière-Suric. My mom is from Rivière-Suric. So my family on my mother's side is from Rivière-Suric. And on my family on my dad's side is from Petite-Savane. So, I come from different areas in Dominica.
The southeast and what, the south?
And the east, yeah. Yep.
Yes. There's real southeast connection, you know? Yes. Who's your mom in Rivière-Suric?
Noreen.
Okay, Noreen. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to say that because I have Rivière-Suric people in my house too. So just in case. So, okay, so you're from the Rivière-Suric and from the Petite-Savane. Did you have to split your time between the two, or were you more in Rivière-Suric than Petite-Savane, or more in Petite-Savane and Rivière-Suric?
Yeah, I spent, I would say more as a child, more time in Rivière-Suric. The summer times I would spend it with my grandmother in Petite-Savane. She used to, build those mats, talk about recycling. She would use the regular shopping bags and turn it into floor mats. And she did that up to the age of 95. So it was amazing. We're talking about recycling now, but my grandmother, was into recycling a long time ago.
So you helped back in the day?
No.
You had no choice to help, or you just wasn't interested?
I just don't think I had that skill to build the mats, but it was really amazing just seeing her doing that. And today we hear a lot about recycling and, not knowing what she was doing at the time. She was contributing to the good of the environment.
Yeah. I like this. You see, Nigel, I like this program, especially when we have these segments, talk about, what our guests did in the past. I really like this.
That's what makes it so special, such a special program. So in terms of your in terms of summer activities, do you recall some of the things you did for the summer back then?
Yeah, well, there were some of the things I liked to do that I would have loved to do, but I never got to do them.
What?
I was raised in a very strict environment. And I guess some of the persons that may be listening that, raised with me, they know my mother was very strict. She was very, selective in terms of friends, like, to make sure I guess for her, it was like keeping you on the right path. And she made sure she protected us growing up, keep us on that right path. But, as, I continue to, as, I say I transitioned to being a teenager, moving to the Dominica Grammar School, and I'm really sorry.
I didn't want you to say that one. Come
back, Ermine. Come back. Say that again.
But SMA won the first football competition.
Say that again, Nigel.
Mensana Incorporation. No, that's my school.
That's it, my girl. That's it.
Yeah. So I attended the Dominica Grammar School and I played netball. And Nigel, I'm sure Nigel will remember that at the time. At the time, he was a teacher at DGS. So I did represent the school in the netball competition. Many people may not know that I played netball for DGS. It was a very short time, together with persons like Alison Fevrier and Kamala and all the others, Giselle Francis, and so on. So I played for a very short time.
So we're going to come to grammar school in a little bit, because we have to talk about grammar school and your time there and how it was like, and then of course move on to what you're doing with with the Rotary Club in Barbados and all the rest of it. But you know people already, they like to connect and they like Beth. So Janella, what you want to know, what is her father's name? Which father from Pititsavan? Because I'm from Pititsavan.
Yeah.
Well,
because there's something about Pititsavan. There's a cultural vibrance in Pititsavan. When you mention Pititsavan, some names come to mind. When you hear the Darrouxs, obviously, it's from a large clan. So yeah, tell us about your father and Pititsavan.
Yes. I mean, it's no secret, our family, we have a very large and extended family. My dad from Pititsavan, and some of you may know, my dad was retired as the Commissioner of Police in the name of Ermine Darroux. In terms of our family, my brother was a former Minister of Government. So our name is known because of our profession and because of the work, I guess, the family has done in the community. And Pititsavan itself is a very known community for many reasons in Dominica. Yeah.
Yes.
The Darrouxs have long been synonymous with culture and community development.
And community, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning to you, Dr. Darroux. Yes, my brethren. Yes. So very quickly from back to River Styric before we move on to the grammar school. So River Styric was where you had your early childhood education, right?
Yeah. So I attended the Munjon Government School at the time.
You attended the Munjon Government School. I have to say that
do you know
I have somebody from Munjon there too, so I have no choice,
Do you know one Curtis Matthew?
Of course, I know the family very well.
Very loving family.
Did you go to school with any one of them?
I think most of them were older than I was. Yes. I don't think none of them were.
What was it like, Munjon Government School? I mean, was there a lot of activity going on? Were you guys running around in the playing field? Was it a strict environment? Who was your teacher?
Speak for your community, Nigel.
But of course.
Yeah. I guess like every other primary school, it was an environment that really focused on education, because I think many of us that went to Munjon School have gone on to take on roles that have certain roles in society or in whatever profession that was chosen. So, and as you know, primary school education is the key. Basic education is the key, because if you get it wrong, then it's challenging to catch up. So I think overall, the school has done an amazing job.
You spent time in Pititsavan as well, like from your young days?
Summer vacations. I spent quite a few summer vacations there, in my longer periods. Yes.
All right. So that's the primary school part. That is the foundation. I'm guessing, like for most people, during that time, we probably don't realize that we also setting the foundation for what's to come later on. And and what we get involved in. But from the primary school, you then moved on to the Dominica Grammar School. What was the experience like at grammar school?
Yeah, grammar school, it was a good experience, and even continuing the co-ed education, I think that was really, another good opportunity, because you get to interact with guys or members of the opposite sex at an early age, so you understand them. So, and grammar school was, there were a lot of activities you could get involved in, from the drama club to sports, as I mentioned, netball. And grammar school was known for activities. And I think the location of the school was also very good, next to the Windsor Park, what we know as the Windsor Park Stadium now. So we had the grounds right here available to us for for, to participate in different things. For me, I was always involved in something relating to either I remember being in the drama club that Joey Lloyd was leading at the time. Different activities the school had going on. I was always involved, try to get involved as much as possible.
So Dominica Grammar School prepared you for a lot. I mean, maybe that was the best school. Mic drop.
I turn off my mic too.
Dominica Grammar School is still one of the best schools in Dominica.
Yeah, I like
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on from grammar school. To all my DJs folks, good morning.
Yep.
Yes. I think in terms of like you mentioned, what happened at the grammar school, the whole thing of the co-ed and all the different activities that's going on there, it sort of prepared you for life.
Yeah.
And what was to come,
Definitely. Yeah.
Were you did you see yourself, and you can probably look back, did you see yourself then as one day being in leadership positions or community? Was it there you probably felt like you wanted to serve your community, or was it something that came after?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like I said, I guess it's genetic. We've always been, the family's also always in serving something. So serving community service was almost natural to me, always helping with something. But like I said, I got involved in different club activities at the school, and thereafter from grammar school we went over to the Civil Call, the sixth form college. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Go ahead, Ivan.
No, she said she went over to the sixth form college, but I still want to go back to the grammar school.
But of course, that's why I tell you to go ahead.
Because you mentioned and Nigel, I just love this, the connection. She grew up in a community where she was serving, and Rivière Syrig, Montjean, Petit Savan. These are communities that know, about that they have this goodman thing in them, and serving one another and that connection. And then she went to a co-ed institution, and she partook in a lot of activities there. And she mentioned that she was involved in netball and all of that. But is there a moment that you can remember, like one of your fondest moments at the Dominica Grammar School? Is there something that you, maybe it could be in a class setting or outside, but something related to the Dominica Grammar School that will be forever etched in your memory?
I remember our principal, Felix Wilson.
Say that again? I didn't get that.
Our principal, Felix Wilson, that stands out for sure. But I think, there are so many things that took place at grammar school. We had challenging times where we had, issues that we had to deal with, but we got through with it. But again, there was so many opportunities for us as kids to get involved in different things. And like I mentioned before, sports was big. If I was into sports, I maybe would have done more in sports. We had different groups to get involved in, and from and different skill sets. Like the school offered food and nutrition programs where if you were interested in being a chef, that would be a good starting point for you.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a number. Mrs. James at the time was leading that food and nutrition lab.
Oh, yeah.
So there were opportunities to get involved, things to do fundraising activities to help the school. So there were things that we, as students, that we could get involved in, and it was really up to you.
But, what house were you in?
Skinner.
But as we refer to
the Brown House.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. The best house. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Ivona was in BJ. Yeah.
Oh,
were you in BJ, Ivona, or do you opinion?
Yes, in BJ, right? I'm still proud. I mean, we're not performing that well, but BJ, I'm still proud.
BJ, the usual last gas.
There were times you would win and you would be celebrating, so please.
All my past BJ students, good morning to you.
Merci.
So I mean, you said so from grammar school, kind of moved from grammar school for a little bit, and then you moved into the state college or Sifokol or Sixth Form College at the time. Again, continuing the experiences there, but would you say that you began to develop even further now in terms of you being a leader?
Yeah, Sivokol, I think it was, for me personally, that's when I got a little break from my parents. So I remember at the end of high school, I wanted to attend Buju Banton was performing in Dominica. And, you know, I wanted to attend the show, and I asked Dad, and Daddy would be like, what? You want me to send you to a reggae show? And obviously I didn't go to the show. But you know, when you know, by the time I got to Sivokol, I was in a position to attend those events. So I think at Sixth Form College, it was a lot of fun for us. We had a group of friends. We called ourselves the completely crazy crew, 6 of us. And we, you know, leading up to exams, we had study groups. We would meet, you know, at different homes, get together, study. And there was one year that Crossfire from Barbados actually was performing at Carnival City, which is again the backyard of the school. And we left our study group and went down to that event. So there, you know, it was at that time, you know, when you say, okay, take off the hats and have some fun at Sivokol. But yeah, but it was an interesting 2 years though. We have developed some relationships during that time.
You remember some of the names, maybe some of the educators there, and even some of your peers, some names you can call?
Well, yes, at Sivokol at the time, Henry Volney was the head of that of Sivokol during that time. You know, my friends were still, you know, we still are friends today. Lucy, Noelis, Elise, Lydia, Gilly, the whole crew. And yes, I'm sure they are listening. So hi, girls, the completely crazy crew.
Completely crazy crew.
So only girls in that.
But must be good.
That group was an all-girl group. Yeah, that was an all-girl group. Ivonia.
That was probably the first all-female group.
Yeah. Actually, you know? the group was formed from we got that name. We were setting up a small band for Carnival. So we you know, that name came across from there.
Nice. Good morning, Violin. Yes, Violin Laura saying good morning. She was, of course,
that's my girl.
she used to be the house captain for Skinner. So she just wanted to say Skinner was the best house, you know.
Best
she played
house
netball for Skinner back then. So she just wanted to say that. Violin, good morning to you.
That's my girl, but I didn't know that coming from her.
Well, should I say that? She says Skinner, the house captain, netball captain.
Okay, Nigel.
Yeah. Okay, I was just Skinner. Yes. Okay. So, Ermine, at Sivokol, did you do business or did you do sciences? What did you major?
At Sivokol, I did the social sciences. So it was economics, accounting. Ken Vital was our economics teacher, and our famous, we loved our accounting teacher. That was Mrs. Laron. We called her Ma Laron because she was like a mother to all of us. So yeah, and that was fun too. That was part of the fun in college, actually, our teacher.
Was there a love for business subjects from early in grammar school, or was it something that just happened?
No, actually, from my 4th year in high school, I was already leaning towards the business subjects. So I did principles of business and principles of accounts. At the time, Alifia Paris, one of my favorite teachers from DGS. She's in the diaspora as well.
Yes, good morning to you, my dear, up there in Texas.
Yes, in Texas. She was my accounts teacher at DGS. And when I moved from DGS to Sivokol, it was a natural progression, you know, to continue in that field.
I just say Sivokol, by the way. I know you might be home for the Independence. Are you going to the White Sunset event?
Yeah, and actually last year I attended as well together with the completely crazy crew girls. We were there last year. So we once we can, we will always support our alma mater for sure.
All right. So Paul Philip, make sure Ermine and the crew is going to be there. Take care of them, so they can have a good time at the Sunset event.
Yeah.
So cyclical business, and then from there you went into the world of work, I'm guessing, yes?
Yes, from there I went into the world of work, and my first job was actually a civil servant. Yes, so I moved on to work with the government housing loans board. But it was for a very short time. At the time, Jennifer Barron was going off on vacation, and I was offered the position to hold on for her while she's off as the clerk to the board, to the government housing loans board. And that's where I would say my finance background started, right at the government housing loans board. So
and then you moved on. Then you moved on to the bank after that.
No, but surprisingly, before the bank, I also worked in the tourism industry. So I spent a short time at Anchorage Hotel, and just saying hi to Andrew Amo and the crew as well. So I worked at Anchorage Hotel as a receptionist for about a month or two. And soon after, they transferred me to the accounts department, which was like a promotion. But while at the accounts department, I got a call from Royal Bank in Dominica, and they asked me to come in for an interview. Now, it was really strange because the call came in on Creole Day. And yeah, so I said, okay, and then they're like, can you do the interview today? So I'm thinking, okay, and I'm saying, oh my God, I'm in Creole where I didn't dress for an interview. These things are running through my mind. I'm going to an interview in a bank, and I'm not dressed professional. I'm not wearing professional wear, it's Creole Day. So I said, okay, I had written to RBC a few times. So I figured, I cannot pass on that opportunity. So I went, to the interview in my Creole wear. And then only to find out when I arrived for that interview, the interviewer was dressed in her full wop duet.
See?
And you know what? Guess who that interviewer was?
The guy phone, I guess.
I have an idea. Say it again?
Guess who that was?
I have an idea, but tell me.
It was Francis.
Hey!
Good morning to you, good morning to you, my dear sister, Frances.
So she was dressed in her full wap duet. So at that point, I felt comfortable. I was like, okay, then my dress code is okay for that interview. So I went for that interview, and bear in mind, it was Independence season in the height of a Creole Day. So I was asked how soon I could start. And I said, okay, I would start after the holiday weekend, because for us at the hotel, obviously, it's the Independence time, it's Creole Festival, the hotel bookings, we are fully booked. It's difficult to just pick up anything. So, I gave my employer at the time notice, but I worked throughout the busy week to ensure that they get the necessary support. And then right after Independence Day, I think we went back to work on November 5th. Then I was back I started off at RBC.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you stayed there for how many years?
I stayed there for a long time. How many years that was? More than 10 years? More than 10 years. I'm losing track of the years, honestly. Just,
what was the highlights of your time there? Tell us what you really enjoyed throughout your time.
So many things at RBC. Again, it was the first time I was in a full-time position. And then, as growing up, you say, well, you're thinking, what would I like to do? What you want to do when you grow up? And banking was always one of them, because at the time, banking was a very, very prestigious role. And, young women, young ladies look up to that, to that role. So I always wanted, to work in the bank. I just don't know what I was going to do in the bank. So I while at the bank, I think I got the opportunity to do everything in the bank, because the system that we had in place, if you're willing, you would get the opportunity to learn all different roles. And even while I stayed at the bank for such a long time, I came out of the bank with so many skills in different areas, because I did lending, I did sales, I did foreign exchange, I did cash, I did so many things during that time that, what I left with was very rewarding. But, when you talk about organization and community and so, during my time at Royal Bank in Dominica, I remember Frances Ann, when she moved on from Dominica to Antigua and still working with Royal Bank, she she asked whether we would be interested in hosting our colleagues from Antigua in Dominica during the Easter weekend. So, she reached out to me and I said, yes, that sounds interesting. So that was in year 2016, I believe. Yeah, it was that year. And then, we took it on, we brought a team together, we organized our fundraising, and we hosted the employees from Antigua in Dominica under a name that we developed called Easter Link Up. That turned out to be a huge event years to come. Like every year, we increased the number of participants. We added more islands. St. Lucia came on, then St. Kitts, all the islands where RBC operated joined us, even as far as Bahamas. They were part of that Easter Link Up activity that we continued every year. And again, we had to raise funds because this is not something the bank was paying for. We raised funds and we, staff chipped in and, put in money, and then we host them for a full weekend of activities. And what was interesting, we got the activity to such a level that eventually the bank got involved as an organization. And because we were able to bring community work into that event. So every island we traveled to for the Easter weekend, on the Saturday morning, we would do some community work, be it a donation, visit young people, whatever it is, we would do some community work. And I remember in Dominica, one of the activities we did donation of kitchen supplies and books to the Operation Youthquake. And Dominica hosted 2 or 3 times. And we also supported that's Natalie,
DAPD?
Yes,
DAPD?
we supported Yes, we made a huge donation through our organization to that organization under the Easter Link Up, brand. So it was really again, so many skills came out of that: how to raise money, how to organize, project management, and then and a key thing for me that came out of that was getting to know my colleagues in the region. That was you get to know who is who within the region. And we've always operated as a network. So in the past, you would be, dealing with people over the phone or via the email, but you don't know, you don't know who you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So we got the opportunity to put a name to a face. And when we get back to work on Monday, then you can know who to call. Maybe I can reach out to Nigel directly rather than go through the system to get that done. So it was not, we definitely had fun. I think some had more fun than others, but there was opportunity for so much more than just fun. Yep.
Very interesting.
So would you say then, in a sense, that the whole idea of serving the community and being involved in community activities that continued for you and even grew more during that Easter Link Up at RBC?
Yes, definitely. I think, it started in the genes, and, many of you know what my dad was involved in from the community policing program and so much more. So I think, yes, it's in our blood to help to do something. But I think that that community activity was very, very helpful, the Easter Link Up. And it gave us an opportunity to do so much more, even to, contribute to the economy. Because when you have, over 100 persons coming to Dominica for 4 days, you're talking about hotels, taxi, restaurants, everybody benefiting. So it was a really good program that, we had fun, but we also did a lot of work to contribute to give back to our economies, whichever country that was hosting at that time.
Listen.
And at that time, were you involved in any, were you part of any community or service organization?
No, not officially, but again, at the time when Frances became the branch manager for Dominica, when she returned to Dominica from her Antigua stint, she was part of Rotary Club of Dominica. And eventually she took on the role as president of the club in Dominica. And at the time I was her executive assistant. So the way it works, it worked back then, I'm your secretary in the office, but I'm also your secretary in your social activities. So, whenever they needed help in Rotary, I raised my hand and helped, but it was never about me being part of the club because the club was really senior people and I didn't think I belonged there. So I would assist with whenever they had an annual event, I think called South and Punch. South and Punch was the annual event. At the time, it used to be at Layu River Hotel, which is no longer. Yeah. So, as the banker, I would be the main cashier, go in and help with you managing the money. So that was one way, I assisted or whatever help Frances needed in the office, if it's to prepare a letter or something relating to Rotary. So I got involved that way, but I was never an official member of Rotary Club of Dominica. Never.
Let's look at customer service. We're very passionate in serving customers. What did that mean to you working at a bank, and having to work with people, having to assist people? Because when I read your bio, I see that's what really drives you at that time. Tell us what that meant to you.
Thankfully, when I in the places I've worked and at the time when I joined RBC, it was all about service. The customer was always right, and you had to ensure that the customer receives the best service ever. And RBC, Royal Bank of Dominica, was known for that. So it was something that you had to do as an employee, and just, I guess, bringing in my own natural self to it. You understand that, and that was priority.
So, but as I want to mention that as well, Ermine, I know we've had our issues with customer service in Dominica and throughout the world too sometimes. Do you think that there should be a greater emphasis placed on customer service by business owners, managers, whatever the case is?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at it from that way, right? Without the customer, there is no business. If the customer doesn't walk in to buy a bottle of water or to buy lunch, then you have, there is no business. The business cannot continue. So I think if you look at it from that angle, then you'll better position yourself to know how to deal with a customer. And for an employee, if you understand if there is no customer, no business, then there is no job. And if you look at it from that angle, then you'll understand why you need to give that customer a certain level of service so they feel like they want to come back and do business with you. So I think it's understanding what the impact of that customer when they walk into your business or when they call your phone or send you an email. Is the important thing is to understand the impact of that customer. And I think once you understand that, then you can make the adjustment as to how you deal with that customer.
Nice, I like that. Well, yes,
I really like that. Nigel, by the way, let me just say quickly, hello to Glenda Castle, and I think she had given us an answer earlier to Passepartout. So I just wanted to recognize that someone is all over the place. So hi, Glenda. Yes, Nigel.
Yes, hi, Glenda. But yes, I love that you mean in terms of the customer focus and looking at it from that angle. And then from a management standpoint, and you don't, I mean, Frances is my sister, but take out the sister part for now. In terms of management, do you also feel that the manager has a role to play in that as well?
Well, I think in any organization, part of the manager's role is to influence the employee. Influence the employee to achieve, to do their best, and influence them to help the organization to achieve as much as possible. And I think similarly influence them into the type of service that they believe is best for the organization. So while each individual has to take responsibility for their own performance, the managers to also have a role to play in terms of influencing the employees to be their best, all the time, to be the best they can be.
Nice. From RBC Dominica, you of course would have gathered all the skill sets, and you would have gathered all the experience, working with all the folks at RBC. What are some of the other folks you give at RBC? Do you remember some of them?
Oh yeah, all of them. I worked with, at the time when I moved in, my manager was, my direct manager was Frederica Dura, and the branch manager at the time, she was Eileen Moraine out of Antigua.
Okay, she was a former guest. Just recently we had her on.
Yes, and also, Calypsonian Daddy Chess. When I came in, I worked with Daddy Chess. I worked with Father Nigel. These were, some of the persons I work with, and my friends, Anya Luis, Rowan Astafan. So a number of them I worked with, and some of them, most of them, we are still friends and in touch with each other.
Nice.
In touch with each other. Yeah.
Okay, and then you moved on from RBC, then you moved on to Barbados.
Yeah.
Was it to go off to UE first, or was it family that got you over there? What was the connection with Barbados?
No, well, actually, while at RBC Dominica, I started my MBA program online. So that started in Dominica, and during one of my as time progressed within the bank, an opportunity came out of our branch in Barbados, and I applied for that, and then, I got through, and then I got from like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I now have to go. So it was not something that I planned. It happened. The opportunity came. I applied for the role, and still not thinking that I would be, the one to win that opportunity. But, as usual, I put my best in everything I do, and I guess it worked.
And it did work.
Yeah. But, and then even, I want to go back to what I spoke about earlier, was the Easter Link Up. And again, a fun activity turned out to be something really good, because when I moved to Barbados, most of the staff, I knew them, and it was through my interactions during our Easter Link Up activity. So it was an easy transition for me. And it was, it was a warm welcome when I moved across to Barbados. Yep.
And then, of course, you found yourself, apart from the banking and the professional part of it, you found yourself getting involved in community activities. How did the whole idea of you becoming part of Rotary came about?
Interesting. The year after I moved to Barbados, Rotary, our district, which stretches as far north as Antigua St. Kitts and goes down to Trinidad, including the Dutch and the French. Every year we host what we call a district conference. And a year after I moved to Barbados, Barbados hosted the district conference. And our organization sponsored one of the events during the district conference. So I got the opportunity to attend the event on behalf of the bank as a sponsor. And then, I sat there at the opening ceremony and just looking at everything, and, knowing that I had that background as a volunteer in Dominica, then I figured, maybe it's a good opportunity to do more. And thankfully, our organization provides that, opportunity for us, or that freedom to be part of, community organizations. So that was helpful. And from there on, it just happened.
So you became like officially a member of the Rotary Club when you got to Barbados?
In about 2 years after I got to Barbados, yes, I became an official member.
Okay. And just quickly though, I will come back to the Rotary part, but just quickly in terms of Barbados, what's it like being a Dominican in Barbados?
Oh, well, it's been a really good experience. I feel right at home. And, sometimes they tell me, you're Bajan, because, that's how it feels. It feels right at home. And I think, even now you can see a lot more unity and cooperation between the countries, and at macro level, and even, with at one-on-one levels. So for me, it's been a really good experience. I feel right at home. And Barbadians that I interact with, they always give me that warm welcome.
Is there a Dominican Association in Barbados?
Yes, yes, there is an association, and surprisingly, I'm not an active member, but there is an association. Dr. Lafont is involved in that association, and there is an association in Barbados.
Yes. Good morning to you, Dr. Lafont. will be our guests and connecting the dots pretty soon.
That's good.
So, yes,
that's good.
yes,
So you
yes.
can tell us more about that.
Geoffrey, good morning to you. So in terms of Rotary Barbados, you became a member of the Rotary Club in Barbados, and you are currently the president of that Rotary Club.
Yes, yes.
Are you the first female president?
No, I'm not.
Are you the first non-Bajan Barbadian president?
I am not sure. I mean, our club has been existing for this year is 61 years. So we have been around for a very long time. So just imagine we've had 60 presidents before me, and no one person has had to duplicate that role. So that's amazing. And, in Rotary, it's not about where you're from or so, because as you know, Rotary is a global organization. We are in 200 countries, 1.4 million members around the world. So you are just Rotarian, right? You are volunteer, you are serving your personal service, you give up your time to help your community. And that is how we recognize each other within the organization. That you are Rotarian and not where you're from or who you are, but you are a Rotarian.
Mm-hmm. And you're a member of Toastmasters as well, right? From what I read.
Yes. Well, I'm very new to Toastmasters. I joined about, I would say, during the pandemic, 2020. Again, you home, nothing else to do. So an opportunity came, and I'm very glad that I signed up with Toastmasters. I wish I had done that long ago. It's a good program, especially for young persons to develop your public speaking and build on that confidence. That is a very good program.
When you sit and reflect, though, what comes to mind? This young girl from Riviera City, going to school, primary school at Mount John. Her father from Piritsavan, spending summertime there. The community was helping to raise you at the time. And you delved into community service from a very tender age. Look at where you are now. What comes to mind when you sit and reflect? Ermine Darroux, who she is now.
Well, for me, couple of things I think of, right? I am a believer in God, so I always say God doesn't give you more than you can bear. And the other thing that I think of is whatever that's going on now, it's supposed to be going on now, good or bad. Whatever, opportunities or places you are in now, that's where you're supposed to be. That's what you have to do. But you're right. I mean, for me, it's a significant achievement. Not everybody that will get those opportunities. Some may get, better opportunities than I've been. But I am thankful and appreciative, and, I like to stay humble.
I like that. I like how she put it into perspective in terms of, the universe is unfolding as it should. And what is to be will be, So as the president of the Rotary Club in Barbados, what are some of the stuff you guys are working on right now?
Yes. So we are, as our members say, we are very busy, very active club. We are one out of 3 clubs in Barbados, but we are the largest and the oldest club. So we have, our membership is now at 104 and counting. So it's a very large club, but a very supportive club, and, get involved in so many different things. Currently, we have programs that support the youth. We have programs that support education. We are running an education program in secondary schools, youth programs with the Juvenile Liaison Scheme, that's Youth at Risk. And this year, one of the major projects that we are taking on is trying to assist the non-communicable disease rates in Barbados and in the region as well. We are seeing the reports that the health officials or professionals are putting out. NCDs, non-communicable diseases, is becoming a challenge for us in the region. And so in Barbados, one of the projects that we are taking on this year is promoting early screening and health literacy programs. So we are going out in the vulnerable communities and providing early screening, so more persons can know their status and act early, so you don't get to that stage. So these are some of the programs that we are doing this year, and for us, we continue to water projects. The past 2 years, we have been working on installing backup water tanks in secondary schools. We have done about 10 schools, 24 tanks so far, and we're hoping to cover the rest of the schools as soon as we can secure the necessary funding. So we get all types of projects.
Tell me about that mission that you hold to end small business failure, one business at a time. What is this about?
Well, I was surprised when I saw that on the flyer. I said somebody misread my bio. But I mean, for me personally, I have worked with businesses at the time I was in Dominica. I still work with businesses, but on a different scale. But professionally, I manage a high net worth portfolio with large companies, but not on the restructuring end at this point. My focus is really on portfolio growth and portfolio management. So I'm at a different end of the scale now in terms of my focus is different. But in terms of small business that would have been listed on the flyer, yes, it's a skill that I possess because of my years of experience in working with business, but it's not something that I am focused on, or it's not something my organization wants me to focus on now. So my focus now is on portfolio management and portfolio growth, high net worth portfolios. Yeah.
But this goes a long way in assisting exactly what I just mentioned, that mission to end the failure of small businesses. So this is like a segue into it when I listen, if I listen correctly.
I would say not. It's really, if you have, from my angle, if I have to look at it, it's a completely different business, and it requires a completely different skill set.
Okay, all right, okay.
But like I said, because of my experience with working with businesses over the years, while I may possess that skill set, this is not my area of focus.
Area, okay, area. Yeah.
So in terms of the project, for those who know, of course, those who know me very well, I never miss the chance to promote Dominica and to get people to come to Dominica and to share and connect.
By the way, so he's the smart one, eh? He's the smart one. He's the tough. I'm the quiet one.
That's an ad they have on DBS. He's the smart.
He's the smart one. He's the smart one.
He's the smart one. She's smarter than the smart one. Yeah. So, in terms of projects, I'm thinking one of the things that it just kind of popped up was you mentioned about the Easter Link Up, right? And I'm thinking it would be a nice project for the Rotary Club and for all the other service clubs that they get a group, so every year you either come for Creole Fest or you come for Carnival. So it'd be nice that when you come into Dominica next time, you bring your Rotarians with you and you begin that link up. So I could imagine, you have 100 and some members, so 40, 50, 60 of them are going to come for Creole Fest. On behalf of the Rotary Club, whilst they're there, they'll get involved in some community activity for that weekend, and then the following year, another group will come from St. Lucia, and then the following year, Rotary will come from wherever, So it gets a way for us to have them there for a festival or for a carnival and get involved in some community activity at the same time. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea. Personally, I always talk about Dominica and what's going on in terms of our activity. For Rotarians, I know whenever there is an opportunity to travel within the region, like I mentioned earlier, I spoke about our district conference. Every year it's held in a different country, and Rotarians come out and support the local community. That's part of one of our causes from an international level. So yes, definitely it would be nice to make it an official thing where Rotarians can move about, not just for our conference, but also for activities, because I think, almost every island now has a festival activity. And coming out of COVID, we saw the kind of revenue that events and festivals can generate for any one country. Barbados, the Food and Rum Festival is this month. And right after we move on to Dominica Creole Festival, St. Kitts, their celebrations is in December. So and quite a few others had theirs during the summer. So every island, there is a festival. And I think the economies are seeing the benefits of those events.
Definitely so. And of course, you were there earlier when we were talking to Marlon and Elka on Miami Carnival. And then, of course, World Creole Music Festival and all the other festivals. As someone involved in business, do you see that we need to better understand the economic impact those things have on our communities and our countries and so on? Should, like, for example, we have Miami Carnival coming up, shouldn't there have been a greater input from the Discover Dominica, from the festival committee or whatever, in connecting to ensure that we can have more of that spill-off continues?
Well, obviously I'm not connected to the Discover Dominica's involvement or Miami, from the Miami organizers event. But I think every opportunity that arises for any one country to promote their culture, and it's a good one. And for festivals and carnivals that you normally have a large number of people and businesses participating in those events. So it's really a good opportunity to push your culture and your country on a whole. So I think
yes,
while I don't have intimate details, or I'm not connected as to what's going on behind the scenes, I would say yes. Though the events definitely a good revenue stream, and the thing about these events is that it touches different sectors in the economy, from the taxi drivers to the restaurants to the roadside vendors to the hotels. There is opportunity for everybody in there. So it's important for us to package those events in a way that we receive the maximum benefit.
Great. And as a woman, we are celebrating the swearing in on Monday of our first female president, of course, from the Kalinago territory. We've seen the rise of women in different spheres, different businesses, different aspects. As a woman yourself, now being the president of the Rotary Club, what do you feel about women in general and their achievements?
Well, I want to say first that in Rotary, it's not about gender, right? It's about who is prepared to do the job and who wants to do the job and who has the capacity to do the job, be it male or female. But for women, we are seeing globally that women are reaching spaces that they were not able to reach before for various reasons, and I think that's commendable. But it's not really about gender. It's about preparing yourself for opportunities that you see ahead of you, be it male or female. But I want to say congratulations to the new president that's about to come in. I'm sure it's a significant achievement especially for the indigenous people of Dominica.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in terms of of Rotary and other organizations, professional organizations, there was a time when, although it wasn't based on gender, but there was a time women would probably not occupy those kinds of positions that they occupy now. And the fact that Ivona can be there as in DBS, and the position that she holds, and you can be there as a position that you hold, and just celebrating women on a whole, what they've been able to accomplish over those years, I think is worthy of mention, right?
Yeah.
I like that point.
Yeah. And I think for us, like I said, we from Rotary's end, the focus is not on gender, but about, who is willing to do the job, who can do the job, and who can take on the job at this time. And Rotary is about creating impact in our communities. And in order for us to create that kind of impact that we are looking for, we need all on board. We need all on board.
Did you find it challenging?
No, I was just about to ask how would you invite young people to join the organization? But you put it in a nutshell. You need everybody on board. So that's good. That's good. I mean, become part of the organization.
Right. Do you find it challenging as a non-Dominican, being in Barbados and having the position? Do you find it challenging? Do you find that there are challenges? Do you find that there's support there? Because oftentimes when you're in organizations, when you're not from that particular country, feel there's a kind of a time, Have you found that, or is it just
no, well, like I said earlier, from the time I landed in Barbados, the reception has always been warm and welcoming. And the same applies to Rotary. And again, in Rotary, it's not about where you're from or whether you're male or female. I am Rotarian and I'm here to do the work. And my club has been very, very supportive. They've given me support. And they too, and Barbadians have a love for Dominica. And if we want to look at how was that demonstrated, if we look after we were devastated by Hurricane Maria, Barbados was, one of the first, if not the first country to come up and help. So I think like I said, there's a good relationship from the top down. And at the end of the day, we are all one, right?
Nice. So Ermine Darroux Francis from Rivers, Siric, Savan, Dominica, now president of Rotary Club in Barbados, works with a high portfolio organization, being involved in banking, finance, all the rest of it. I mean, and I want to ask you earlier in terms of, when you reflect on all that, advice to young people, advice to young girls, what would you want to say to them?
Wow, there's so many things I could think of. For a young person in general, I would say getting involved in service clubs is a good thing. And I think especially in Dominica, we have the four major service clubs, which is Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis, and Optimists. I believe all those clubs exist in Dominica. And some of them start from high school or even primary school level upwards. So for a young person, if you can start in those service clubs at an early age, it's helpful. It will help you to build your network. And in this global environment that we live in, networking is important. If you get into Rotary, we have programs for kids, Early Act and Interact, and then Rotaract, and then finally Rotary. So there is opportunity for you to get in the network very early and to benefit from that 1.4 million network around the world. So and then when you get involved in organizations like this, it sort of keeps you off the street, or it keeps you on the straight and narrow path, which is what you want. And then for our kids, I think parents as well, to encourage kids to give back. Because kids nowadays, they always want this and want that, and they feel like they have to get it. But when they understand that, hey, you are very fortunate, you have a meal today, this child down the road doesn't have a meal, and they only understand that when they get involved in community work and can see the difference between what they have, and they can now appreciate what they have, and they understand that they need to help each other. So I think getting them involved in community work at an early age is a good thing. It gives them that, that sense of giving back and that understanding of society, and it will help them to grow their network at a very early age, which is important in the global environment. In terms of your education, I would say stay in school, in school and stay focused. And the world, everything else is out there. It will always be there. Don't feel like you have to be part of the FET now. The FET will always be there. It will get better as time progresses. So you will get the opportunity to be part of the FET a little later on. So focus on your work, focus on yourself, on building that strong personality to take on the world challenges.
Wow, I love this, Nigel. I really love this advice from her. Very profound, and she's like a true testimony of one of the key benefits, of being a member of a service club. That passion for service, helping others and giving strong advice.
Yes,
will go a long way in helping other people.
Yes, and I love the connection between, giving back and at the same time you developing yourself, because when you give back, you see what others don't have and you see the benefits of what you can do and so on. So
some people just fit what they're involved in. So you look at Ermine, this calm countenance, you look at her whole demeanor and everything, and she's just the right fit,
Yes.
for that everything.
I agree. I agree with you on that one. So I mean, as we wrap up, as we wind down and we wrap up on our connecting the dots. First of all, thanks again for accepting the invite and being part of the program. Final thoughts on our connecting the dots. Not sure if you've listened to the program before, but if you haven't, now we have another person that's going to be listening on Saturdays.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this program in terms of connecting Dominicans?
Yes, I think it's a good opportunity to not only showcase Dominica's talent or what is out there, but it also creates an opportunity for you to connect with Dominicans and see if there's any way you can provide support, because you may want to do something from your end, but you may not know what it is that you want to do. So by bringing out the skill set or the talents through your program, then persons may be able to reach out and say, can you provide some support on that end, or what can you recommend for that? And I believe, as you know, Dominic, there's a saying we have back home that there are more Dominicans out there than in here. And, so yes, I want to congratulate you all on that program and keep going, connecting the dots. I like the tagline.
Yeah, Nigel came up with that name, by the way.
Very
good name. Very, very catchy. Very, very, very.
Yeah.
By the way, can you speak any Creole before we end? You want to give us a sentence in Creole or something?
Oui, moi ça parle créole, mais moi comprends les premiers pas. I need to stop that. I understand Creole very well, but it's funny that again, bringing your kids up in the right way. In my generation, maybe my generation was the last where we thought speaking Creole was not a good thing, and I feel like we should have gotten more exposure in Creole. And I remember going to our branch in St. Lucia at the bank, and the staff were all speaking Creole. I'm like, wait, y'all are just speaking Creole at the branch? So yes, Creole is a second language for us, and I don't think we should discriminate. I think all our kids should learn Creole. I'm teaching my 7-year-old, her dad teaches her a few things. So yes, I can speak Creole, not as fluent as I would like, but I totally understand the language.
It's a Dominican.
Oh yes.
Another conversation.
Oui,
nice. Okay, all right, that's it. Yeah, man. So now the time has come and gone.
Yes, the time has come. Thanks again, Ermine. Appreciate it. Thanks for the connection. Thanks for sharing your story and your journey, and inspiring those who would have been listening and viewing later on as well. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you. All the best to you. Bye-bye.
It was really a pleasure. So Nigel, we'll do this again next week. By the way, as far as next week is concerned, it could be that we start at 10. I'm not too sure. It could be at 10.
We start at 9:30.
But nobody can stop reggae, right?
Nobody can. We start in 9:30. No, can't stop the vibes. So, but we will connect on that. But yes, we will connect on that. We will connect on that, but we start in 9:30. You can't stop the vibes. But as always, it was a pleasure connecting with you, man. You know what the mission is. We know what the vision is, and we know what we are here to do. So we continue doing what we were meant to do.
All right. Until next week, enjoy the carnival. The spring water I said in the jerry can for you. Make sure you use it.
Yes.
Yourself. This sporadic lubrication, you will do you well.
Yes, I got a little note that I had a package, so I'll be looking out for that for Carnival next week. Miami Carnival, again, make sure you're part of the Miami Carnival next weekend. Check out Elka's Kitchen, check out Marlon, link up and get everything done.
Yeah. See you next week.
See you next week, my dear. We connect again. Hold tight.
All right, take care. That's it. Good day.
All I know is that is all. We're in the building. Take your life. I got a good one for you today. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight, okay? We'll kill you slowly. God is